we talked about the prospects of top four.
Yeah.
And Jules, this is not the kind of schedule. This is how I see it, right? So I'm not going to go through every game, but the positives are they've got head-to-heads against the teams against which they're competing.
Yeah.
They've got United at home. I know United are only 1 point ahead of them, but they have 2 games in hand, whatever, right? But you don't know what's going to happen, right? So they could be competing with United for top 4 spot.
Yeah.
They got United at home, which is good, right?
Yeah.
6-pointer, potentially, right? You pass them in the table. Yeah. But then away from home, they have Newcastle and they have Liverpool.
Yeah. And those 3 are back-to-back, by the way. So
and they're all back-to-back.
That's where the season would be.
That is huge. Also, obviously, United have a packed schedule, so maybe... But Liverpool, this is all they have to play for, for example, right? So this is going to decide it. And then after that, should it still be kind of touch and go, you're playing exactly the kind of... I always say this, right? Late in the season, the teams you don't want to play are the teams that are fighting for something, right?
Yeah,
you want to play Aston Villa. And unfortunately... They do play Aston Villa, and they do play Brentford, who maybe won't be fighting for anything.
That's true.
But that's it, right? They have yet to play Everton. That's actually their next game. Away from home.
Yeah.
A Sean Dyche experience after he got a point at Stamford Bridge.
Yeah.
And then later on, towards the end, they play Bournemouth, or they've got Bournemouth. And then they got Crystal Palace, and they have Leeds United. All
away, final game of the season.
All of these games, desperate, so much at stake. It feels uphill.
Yeah, no, it
feels uphill.
Yeah, it is. And I think it is. And I think you need to hit the ground running straight away. The players are going to come back now, one by one from international duty. And Stellini will have little time to prepare for that Everton trip, of course, although it's a Monday night trip, if I'm not mistaken. So at least it's a bit more time than if we were playing at 12:30 on Saturday, for example.
Right, but Stellini's going to be preparing for it anyway. He was already there. He was preparing
but you know what I mean? Like,
he's been running the training sessions.
I know, but if you get your players back on the Wednesday, it's better to be playing the Monday than the Saturday.
Of course.
So,
but every manager faces that, right?
Yeah. But it's tricky, and especially as you said when we were preparing for the show, what happens if it doesn't start well? Already the pressure could mount very quickly. You don't win at Everton away, then you play and you've got Brighton at home, and then that could go. De Zerbi and Brighton can come and play you off the park in your own stadium like Villa did, and Villa are nowhere near as good as Brighton, and then suddenly it becomes so toxic and everything, and then
it's tough. But do they have a better chance now than they did 24 hours ago when Antonio Conte, with the baggage that he brings, was still there?
I've said to you before, I've said it on the FC show, most of that dressing room didn't want him anymore there. They felt something was broken. There was a fracture between him and most of the dressing room, let's put it that way. He still had some allies there, but overall, I think it's better for that dressing room that he's not there anymore.
So my understanding is completely different from yours, possibly because I speak to different people.
Yeah, maybe.
But nobody enjoys being called selfish.
Nope.
And nobody enjoys that, right? So I don't think anybody liked it. I don't think it was a case of losing the dressing. I think there were people there who felt that with his emotional baggage, it's right that he went. Because, and this is something I'm going to get to, this has been a very tough year for him personally. He's had his surgery. Yeah. He's come out in public, which I don't want to deal in stereotypes, but for, a macho man from the south of Italy to talk about how he misses, his wife and daughter who stayed in Turin. That's a big deal. For a guy like that to open up about how there might be stuff that's more important than football and work in life, after the passing of Gianluca Vialli, Sinisa Mihailovic, both of whom he was close to, and most of all, perhaps Giampiero Ventrone, who, was Spurs' fitness coach. That is a big step. So we're seeing I don't want to say...
You've said before, a shift really in his personality and attitude,
Look, he might have been introspective before, but now he's introspective in public.
Yeah.
Which is very, very new. As I understand it, the people who matter in the dressing room, the Dyer, Kane... Look, it's Dyer, Kane, Lloris, and Højbjerg, right? There's no running around this, right? Yeah. Those are the four, right? I think at least 2 of those 4... I think we're still on board and would have had no problem with him.
But they also probably would have no problem that he was not there anymore.
Well, one of them has no problem with anything ever because, but you know what I'm talking about.
Thanks so much. much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.